upper respiratory thing.
Yeah, I feel like I'm seeing a few. I went to Sam's Club and I got this put all over the place. But I can't remember. I can't remember.
No, it's Holland.
Yeah.
There's not orders anymore at City Hall.
You're not doing
No, because it was like a nightmare the last time.
Yeah. Well, they have it, so they have it on file loaded, so you just take in whatever you want.
Oh, that's
cool.
cool.
Or they have stuff.
I want to get a hat too. You know, find a company that like you can just put the PNG on there and then like put it on like a leather patch. And I wear a leather trucker hat with the leather patch on them.
Put a year after this. Okay.
Because water heaters being more dangerous.
Yeah. So we places water heater, we put the oil out on there, and you gotta go this code enforcement out. They just grab something that's not trash, they might put it out, and so you call, and you're like, oh, you get a permit? And so who's up stuff, permit fees? I mean, it kind of is when you spend $70 on the water heater, put it in the stove, and you buy for $10 for it. I mean, it is what it is. So.
And it might be too, probably if someone charged extra.
Oh, they're
If you
charging.
get charged extra, you get caught with that.
So what's the regular price? Because I thought that was crazy.
Yeah, they're not super expensive. But
Although, to his point, was that
I don't know if
it's more than 10%.
I'll have to double check if you have to have one to do a water heater, because those are the type of things.
If it's gas.
If you do it, yes, sir. I mean, it doesn't matter, because if you do it wrong and overpressure, it becomes a problem.
We've got a number, we're next.
You looking for me or Dave?
No, we're next. We've
Okay.
got a number,
We'll
we're
chat later.
next.
So, what?
So we have a number, we're next.
Yeah, you need to get one of those, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Is this the one we talked about?
I called him.
Chuck?
Sure, the lady didn't stop.
Most of it, yeah.
But
There's a difference between gas and electric.
So there isn't a sign there, correct?
Well, we were talking about.
So how was Sally?
Versus. We were talking about putting the sign under here, just said 2 weeks.
I never did get a chance to, I kept trying, but.
Okay, because that's not adding extra, like.
The diamond in the
No. I don't disagree with you.
Yeah, I hear you.
Do not disagree with you.
One of those kind of things, I guess.
Yeah,
Christina
I'll talk to the street department
would be a good one.
and see if that's something you can just put up or if we
Got our
have.
hands full.
Torch going.
You're Ward 3.
You said it was Howard and Breyer?
You think so?
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I'll make a note to double check with the street department for you.
Ah,
Stop sign.
I wondered who was going to.
Christina.
That's a good one.
Yeah, she
Like a
does.
two-way that the other's traffic doesn't stop.
I'm hoping maybe she's like enough time has passed. She might be receptive to that conversation again. That's why I was trying to get her friend. Her friend Susie, I know.
Oh, yeah, I talked to him.
I mentioned it to her a couple times. She was like, "Yeah, I'll take you over there. We just, I can, you can only be so pushy when somebody's trying to be a big
Yeah, I will double check with the street department for you.
You must know the issue that with the city and with the state. I mean, it's got it.
Yeah, I only know a little bit, which is why I wanted to go and talk to her, because she could tell me the story fresh, and I wasn't.
I told you so.
Yeah, well,
But I
I
can
didn't
also
believe it.
imagine the experience she had. And that's
Yeah,
probably not the best one.
that's her.
Good to see you.
It's gonna be there, right?
Hi, Lynn. Am I right?
Good, man. Yeah, everything's wrong.
Yes.
Oh, sure.
He behaves for the most part. He behaves for the most part.
Yeah.
Good, all right.
Everybody really.
Absolutely. I look, working on that. You must have changed your route.
They did, they changed us around a little bit.
Ah, I haven't crossed your path for quite a
You're
while.
doing it
Yeah.
yourself.
Oh, you don't do
Unless
this?
it's like a real substantive thing.
Every call.
That stuff requires permits regardless. But like, I don't know about the water heaters you can do.
I was actually thinking about it.
I remember all that.
And they came in a day later to get another water heater. Yeah, through the floor of the basement.
Oh, I didn't know.
So it was a gas water.
I'll take a 3-month ride.
Installed it.
Yeah,
One shit.
Yeah, through the floor of the basement.
So,
Yeah, well, you can handle it.
yeah, that's right. Look, it'll be painful.
Yeah,
So
right.
he overpressured his water heater. Find another one. Some of them, if you want. His problem was he installed it incorrectly. He said, yeah, I gotta get the floor fixed, I gotta go.
You're welcome inside. Oh, these guys.
That might be nice.
Well, because then if somebody else wants to make the motion, it's all.
Also, wrote you a note when we were in the meeting.
Yeah, I remember, I thought you were just doing it.
Here it is. Calculated.
It was like a year. I thought we He's so good at this.
Yeah, people were saying we didn't need to warn you.
How you been, Brad?
Good, man. I was gonna say something, but you've been busy.
I wonder
How's the world treating you? Good? You find any help?
Not yet.
Not yet?
I got a couple applications, I'm gonna start doing some work.
Good, good.
Come here.
Yeah.
Oh, before you sit down.
Do you mind if we just? Okay. I can swap out the name.
Jamie moved and Jeff's over here. He's got questions for me. We want to have them. Right?
You gotta check out 11 a.m. if you do.
He was just saying.
World treating you, man.
Too bad.
How's Jess?
She's okay.
Hanging in there, huh?
Yeah.
Please help my brain. You're younger than mine.
Yours was different, your guys' was different, because you guys were leaving the mayor was.
That's true.
Yeah, because the government was coming to Canton.
I might not make it.
We're not supposed to get it. He's still on.
Okay. I mean, neither is fine.
Would we just, Mayor? How you doing? Good to see you. Oh, you did? Yeah. Did he yell at you? My skin is so dry. It's like
I got your message. Thank you.
Oh, you're
Don't mind, I'm gonna provide an updated clarification so people understand.
Did you say what?
I said I'm gonna provide an updated clarification to my report.
Oh,
you are. Thank you. You have the same information as I do.
Oh, I'm just gonna thank the administration for the on the record. I was held to get to your voicemail, they tried to send me over the end.
Yeah, can I just ask, why didn't Jimmy call me and talk to me and think we have a good enough relationship? He just fixed my daughter's car. Again, I give him all my business. He could have just called and asked. And so you have this, right? The 55 originally for the 10,000 square footage that they put in.
I didn't put any information. All I'm doing is thanking you and the city council.
Then I'll give him the details. So
You give the particulars.
I was like, you know, why did you just, like, that seems really you know, hi, and I could have worked on it more.
Well, who are you talking about? Ellsworth?
I'll try
Well, it wasn't him. That's why. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
that's why.
Jim's just ready to just, you know.
He just write a check.
Well, he owes us a thank you, doesn't he? We'll just write a smaller check.
Yeah.
that. I have no problem.
Hey, Linda.
Nobody right there.
I want to tell Leon so bad. Leon, your shoes on time.
Yeah.
I don't mind. There, good job. Time.
One of ours.
I didn't know if he tripped you or you tripped over his laces. That happens. I trip on the carpet, you know. Yeah, maybe so guilty.
Yeah,
Use a skip
ivory
about every 2
property.
weeks. I come back. One of my shifts and my vision.
That's how I heard it.
I'm doing that down at the Crow's Nest.
Starbucks.
Very expensive.
Oh, the high dollars. Us yuppies hang out.
Yeah.
Reasonable.
How you been?
Makes it
Oh,
You mean the grill?
no, the cabinet that I sent you.
Wait a minute, you sent me a picture of a cabinet?
I just met with that neighborhood group.
I met your neighbor.
You should be asking for my autograph.
Oh, you helped me get the, oh, wait, yeah, the cabinet,
That
yeah.
was the cabinet.
Right next door to you.
That's right.
Yeah, we got it. Your neighbor actually put all the food on the truck. We took all the drawers out. And your neighbor was walking by.
She's so great. She had like some questions.
Good.
Yeah, well, we took the drawers out and we just walked by the room over here.
Here's awesome.
Well, if I'd home, you just should have just texted.
He just happened to be walking by.
Okay. Well, it looked like something you catch up. Especially when next door.
Well, I did.
Yeah. That's what you said.
Keep people awake.
Keep you on your toes. Know when you're getting complacent. My other half is fine with the Buckeyes. You know, I'll be like, Saturday.
They
They were awesome.
I like having.
I mean, the little black kid?
We're going down.
I don't know who it is. Oh, really? I don't know. Yeah, I know Mars, and I don't know the next people over. I know Eric's across the street from me, but I don't know his last name. And I'm really into him.
That's all right. It is hard.
Well, if you know his name, it's
Oh, you were probably in the soup section. That's usually how people do it. They just trade.
Came back with all this stuff.
Oh, wow.
I had to go
Oh, jeez. That's pretty cool, though. That would be great with some great hair.
Did you look up to see if he's dead?
Friends of ours that go down.
I will.
They stick her up in those windows.
So anyway, when I got down,
Need binoculars. I would.
Yeah.
Right. I watched a little
Youngest grandson.
and it's completely different names.
Yeah.
But the guy's wife lives in London, just like this. But the very same stories, word for word. But it's not the same.
My, what's he telling me?
I'm not the most old person.
Heck yeah.
If somebody says this really
Show those off.
even though, I mean,
He goes for it, huh?
Gregory Shoemaker? Stay.
Yeah. And his other place in Aspen, he's about tall as I am.
Hey, Dave.
Yes, sir.
What was it, Dave, or Greg Shoemaker?
Gregory.
Gregory Shoemaker.
What grade is he? Oh,
So we're good with Diana for the 29th then?
Yeah, that Monday.
Okay.
Yeah, Mary.
Once
Why have you done that? I have something.
That's why it sounds familiar, but I couldn't really remember why.
That's good.
Put your work order in.
He's only 160.
oh, he'll grow into, he's probably, that's perfect to grow into that.
Add 30.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I found it on there, but it wasn't like easily.
Yeah.
From here, anywhere?
Actually, I have them right here.
Probably not.
Yeah.
I couldn't find it, I just saw the 42, 150, yeah. But I don't know.
The water fountain in the other building.
How's it going, Jeff?
All right, how about you?
Another day in paradise.
Oh, yeah.
Running around too much to get too much done and freaking can't stop sweating.
We have hard copies too.
Yeah.
It was 6
I posted stuff about yesterday.
We have a hard copy.
Okay, I feel like that's, am I right? Yeah.
Not right now.
Okay, because I do have pages, but then I was like, they're in the library, where the seat bank
Should be short tonight.
Right here. Website. You can always go to the website, just, that's what I do.
yes, okay. Because that will help.
I could, it would be
Okay.
let's break this out.
Yes.
Decorating
And I was almost making it one.
Oh, no, I know. I can't get
Yeah, so it's always search our website, you can find it. Hard copies.
It'll be all right, though.
You were there today.
I appreciate your husband brings it.
Skated off, but I can't.
Does someone want that? Yeah.
But they have different docks.
Right. You'd think so.
Yeah. One dock and then surgeon. So, yeah, that's what you're telling me.
Right.
You said you had a wife. I didn't think I was ready for this. Yeah, yes.
Get kicked to the back room?
Liam, are you guys good?
Yeah, we're ready.
Okay. Now call to order the City Council meeting of September 8th, 2025 at 7 p.m. Opening prayer, Reverend Angel Jackson, would you please open us up? All stand, please.
Thank you, and thank you on behalf of the North Canton Ministerial Association. Let us pray. Holy God, we give you thanks for this beautiful day, for gathering us safely together, for the people in this room and the gifts you've given them and the way they use them to serve our community. And Lord, I ask that you give them wisdom and guidance, and that you help all of us to work for the good of all in the city where we live. We pray all this in your Son's holy name. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Liam, will you please call roll?
Member Wyrick?
Here.
Member Owens?
Here.
Member Matheny? Here. Member Warren?
Here.
Member Peters?
Here.
Member McLeister?
Here.
Member Orr?
Here.
7 present.
All right, thank you. Is there a motion to approve as presented the minutes from the August 14, 2025 Special City Council, the minutes from the August 18, 2025 Committee of the Whole and City Council meetings, the Price Park Equipment Purchase Approval, the West Maple Street Repaving Contract Award, the codification update to Chapter 707, and the August 2025 Finance Report?
So moved.
Is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. We don't have anybody signed up for the recognition of the public at this point, so we will move on. Liam, will you please read the title of Resolution 44-2025, please?
A resolution authorizing the North Canton Community Improvement Corporation as the agency of the City of North Canton for industrial, commercial, distribution, and research and development to facilitate the purchase and or disposition of property owned by the City of North Canton.
Okay. Any other comments on this? We've talked about this, and this is the way we are going to move property. Jason or Gina, any other comments on this property, or?
I didn't have anything to add.
Okay. Yep. Okay, anybody else? Okay. Is there a motion to adopt the third reading of Resolution 44-2025?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Liam, will you please read the preamble?
At this time, members of the public who have signed up to address City Council will be called to do so. Each speaker will be given 5 minutes. Speakers shall be called in the order they signed up. During this section, comments shall be limited to items reasonably under the city's authority. The rules for speaking and speaker's time will appear on the screens. After you have finished speaking, please remain at the podium to answer questions from the officials of the dais. This will serve as the final warning for all speakers. Any violation of the rules will result in ejection of the premises.
Okay. Mr. Chuck Osborne, you are first.
Chuck Osborne, 307 Fairview Street, Southeast, North Canton, Ohio. Recent office holders on North Canton City Council have failed to comply with state statute requiring the taking of an oath of office before entering upon the discharge of their duties. More specifically, I am speaking of the fact that both President and Vice President of the City Council have not been sworn in and taken the oath of office for the office they each now hold. Section 2.03, paragraph 3 of the North Canton City Charter, titled Officers of Council, starts with the President and Vice President of Council, and I quote, by virtue of holding such offices, close quote. This language clearly identifies these positions as offices unto themselves. Section 5.05, paragraph 2 of the City Charter, titled Vacancies, describes the process of filling vacancies of offices on council, identifying the positions of council person as office of council person, quote, the council president position as the office of president of council, close quote, and the council vice president position as the office of vice president. The city's charter recognizes that a council person, a president of council, and a vice president of council are distinct offices unto themselves with separate and distinct responsibilities and authority within their respective office as members of North Canton's legislative body. Given that the North Canton City Charter names the above described positions within council as offices, I call to your attention State Statute, Ohio Revised Code, Section 3.22, which reads in part as follows. Each person chosen or appointed to an office under the Constitution or laws of this state, and each deputy or clerk of such officer shall take an oath of office before entering upon the discharge of his duties. With that said, when individuals fill any of the above charter described offices, they are required to be sworn in and take the oath of office for the office they will hold. I have consulted 3 attorneys on this issue, and their legal opinion unequivocally is that newly seated Council President Stephanie Warren and newly appointed Vice President of Council Dave Matheny are required to take an oath of office and be sworn in for the offices they now fill. This has not happened. I should add that failure to be sworn in and take the oath of office
could very well cast doubt on the validity of their actions while acting in the capacity of their new office. The swearing in and taking of an oath is a requirement throughout local, state, and federal government. An example of this requirement can be found at the highest level of government when one looks back to the past. Although it was 62 years ago when President John F. Kennedy was lost to this country, I'm sure many of you saw the photos of Vice President Lyndon B. Johnson being sworn in aboard Air Force One at Love Field, Dallas, Texas, as this country's 36th President of the United States on that fateful day, November 22, 1963. Previously, Lyndon Johnson had been sworn in as Vice President on January 20, 1961 at the U.S. Capitol in Washington, D.C. Lastly, I would like to correct remarks made by at-large council member Christine Wyrick at the August 18, 25 council meeting during council reports. At 1.20.25 of my posted video of the meeting, Mrs. Wyrick stated that Stephanie Warren was council's first female president of council. Mrs. Wyrick's attribution that newly ascended president of council, Warren, was council's first female president of council is incorrect. For the record, former council member Marcia Kiesling was council's first female president of council, but only very briefly. As council president, Mrs. Kiesling's first and only official act at her very first and only meeting, a special council meeting held on March 4, 2014, was to step down as president of council. Mrs. Warren, you were in attendance at that March 4, 2014 meeting of council as a member of council. You should have recalled that Mrs. Wyrick's attribution on your behalf was unwarranted, yet you failed to speak up and correct Mrs. Wyrick's assertion for the record. In conclusion, office holders are required to be sworn in and take the oath of office for the office they will hold. A record of this action should be maintained to document compliance with the law. And now that I got a few seconds, I will also say at that March 4th, 2014 meeting, Mayor Held called an organizational meeting. I've spoken to Mr. Ott, the council clerk, on this. He seems to have fixated in his mind that you only have an organizational meeting on December 1st to start a new term of council. Mr. Mayor Held's, former Mayor Held's actions show that it's not true. You can have an organizational meeting anytime when you have a change in hierarchy here on council. Thank you. What do you, I'm supposed to stay up here if you have questions?
Okay. Okay.
Do we have any questions?
Nope.
Thank you.
Ms. Bachman?
Miriam Baldwin, 320 Weber Avenue Northeast. I'm here tonight to ask you to put into the 2025-26 budget sidewalks at least on one side of 7th Street. The neighborhoods of 7th Street, Sutton, Briar, Weber, Winston, and East Berry are all changing. New families are moving in and there's a lot of kids. The new middle school is being built on 7th Street. The middle school has 900 students. None of them drive. Now they won't all live in our neighborhoods, but a lot of them will, and they'll be within the 2-mile area that they'll have to walk to school. The high school has 1,200 students. And that's a total of 2,100 North Canton students on 7th Street. We also have the stadium, the soccer fields, the pool, Dogwood Park, and the new handicap park, which a lot of people go to that. The other day I was driving up 7th Street and I saw a lady pulling a wagon with a small child in it, and she was on the grass. She didn't want to be in the street, which I didn't blame her. She had to pull the wagon through the grass because there were no sidewalks. So please consider putting sidewalks, I'm only asking for one side of the street, between Woodside and Winston. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions? Okay, and last, Mr. Davis.
Brad Davis, 1678 Meadow Lane Drive Southeast. The mayor, the administration, and city council, I would like to extend my sincere appreciation to your quick response in reference to the plumbing permit for Ellsworth Body Shop. Your timely attention to this matter is commendable and greatly valued. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I had some good news for you.
Yeah, that was. I think it was pretty much handled right after the meeting.
Quickly.
Oh, there was quickly, yes. Okay, well, that is it for our speakers for tonight under general topics. We will now move on to department reports. Mayor Stroya.
All right. Hey, I'm not used to going first. I want to say thank you to Brad, Chuck, and Miriam for speaking. The only thing I wanted to say tonight is thank you to Jeff for agreeing to be appointed. That was very important pick, and I appreciate your willingness to serve. So, sorry I didn't get to play the entrance music when you came back. Next time. That's all I've got.
Okay.
Thank you. I guess I will, going off a little more detail on that from what Brad said, and we did work on that quickly. As you recall, the issue at point was the permit and what the cost of that permit was for a bathroom in commercial. The error that was found, because it did seem quite large, right, when the amount was, the contractor had put in the entire square footage of the project instead of just the square footage of, you know, the part that they were working on. So the difference was 10,800 square foot, where the correct square footage was 880. So there was, they originally paid 1,755, which we were all shocked, like that did seem like a very high amount for that, you know, small project there. It was a refund of 1,328.29. The fee was just $426.83. So, you know, as you know, we've looked into these fees a lot. We've looked at other communities. We feel ours are comparable. Yes, some are higher, some are lower, but this does, you know, it is more in line. So, the other thing I wanted to mention was just that everyone had come out to the Parks and Rec Master Plan that we held out at Dogwood. We had a good turnout to that. People have been asking a lot since then if they weren't able to make it out. There will be other opportunities. We'll be out at community events. They'll be out on September 20th at the 720 Market. They'll be out on September 25th, the senior programming that the library has here at the Civic Center. They'll be there. There will also be at the New Berlin Fest, which is on Saturday, September 27th. Probably be another Dogwood event. We're trying to get look at a best time. This was an evening after work, 5 to 7. It's hard. I know people are coming home from work. Kids are back in school activities. So we might do it on a Saturday or a Sunday. We're also going to be at the farmers market. You know, some opportunity there. Sue brought up a good point. Like, where do you find the survey? We've been pushing it out via the text, the website, Facebook. You can find it on the city website also. If you just do a search, just put in their master plan, park master plan. It'll take you to the link to take a survey. There's also paper copies of the survey available at City Hall. Some are at the library, and we're trying to get some other locations. So just trying to get that data out. The survey does end at the end of September. So got this month to get it in, make your voice heard. This is a long-range strategic plan to guide the North Canton Parks and Recreation Department into the future for a decade. So this is your time now. If not now, then, you know, down the road, it'll be like, well, there was your opportunity to have your voice heard and get some input. Also want to give an update on Woodrow, Jamie, and your ward. You know, they're finishing up. Wanger's got everything finished up. I know some residents haven't been happy with some of the seeding and the grass that's grown, so they're still working on that. But the Woodrow trees that Rice's will be planting are coming in October 13th, give or take a few days. They are being, you know, they'll be, you know, dug up from where they are growing now and transported on October 1st. So, you know, he might be able to move it up a few days, but that's shooting for around October 13th. They'll try to get the seeding done, and of course, as you know, if anything isn't to our North Canton satisfaction, we will have them redo it, you know, before we release the
Thank you so very
bond.
much, and thank you for being receptive to the comments and concerns that have come up thus far, so thank you.
And also in Parks, just wanted to tell you, Brian Hill, Superintendent of Parks, is moving along still with the project. Two things, the one you approved tonight is an updated playground equipment at Price that's over 20 years old over there, and it's really running into safety issues, so we were able to utilize, we went through Sourcewell, going with Snyder Recreation, we've used them before. So that's happening as well as what Brian is going to be starting is with the capital award money we received, redoing the gazebo, the fishing gazebo, and then improving accessibility there with concrete and putting some improved seating, some improved lighting. So it's going to be a real refresh happening this fall over at Price Park. I think that's all I have then.
Okay, Deputy Director?
Yeah, maybe building on some of the things that Catherine said, on the planning theme, I wanted to share that we've had some discussions with the North Canton City Schools, and to build also on the thoughtful comments that we had about the sidewalks on 7th Street, the schools are getting ready to embark on the creation of a safe routes to school travel plan. And so basically the purpose of that plan, as the name implies, is to look at ways to make it safer for students to walk and bike to all the schools. Typically, those plans are something that's very common in cities throughout Ohio, and they have a linkage to funding, which I'll explain in a second. But the plans typically look at what's called the 3 E's. So they look at enforcement, education, and maybe most germane to the sidewalks, engineering. So kind of a multifaceted approach at looking how can we get students to school more safely, whether that's enforcement, whether that's educating them about safe crossing of streets and so forth. But the engineering component is large, and that's looking specifically at sidewalks, crosswalks, other types of infrastructure improvements. And as you can all imagine, the new middle school, of course, looms large, and the discussion about the safe routes and how to get students safely to the new middle school. So as far as the process goes, I know the schools will be doing public engagement throughout the fall on that plan with students and residents. The deadline for creating that plan is in February, and maybe to the most important part for our purpose is the funding. ODOT, the Ohio Department of Transportation, these safe routes to school plans are a recognized component of their funding, and so school systems often create them. They're a prerequisite for getting funding from ODOT, and the nice thing about the Safe Routes to School program is ODOT provides funds at 100%. So if there were an application put forward, March would be the time to apply to ODOT for infrastructural projects, something like the sidewalks or other infrastructure that's identified in that plan could be applied for. And so it is a nice program. I'm sure we'll be working with the schools. It is the school's plan, but we and many others throughout the community will partner with them. So I'd encourage you to reach out to the schools if you do have more questions on that. But we'll be present at their meetings and engaged, of course.
Okay, thanks, Jason. Anything else?
No, that was
You're
it.
good? All right, thank you. Okay, Director of Finance.
I have no report. The finance department is busy working on the budget.
Yes,
So.
yes. You have started having set up meetings for all of us. We're all going to be meeting with you in the coming weeks, and so you will have center stage as we move forward these next months. So thank you. Council Clerk?
I don't have anything to report.
Okay, moving on. Ward 1, JD.
Yeah, thank you very much. I don't know that I really have a report this evening. I certainly want to thank those who got up and spoke before council. Very great comments. So while it's not in my ward, I think if we can make it happen through things that Jason was suggesting over there, I think it'd be a win-win for sure. So thank you to Kathy for some of the things that we've talked about over there. Woodrow already mentioned that, so thank you for your help there. And welcome to former Council President Peters for the next couple months. Looking forward to sitting next to you. So welcome back. That's all.
Okay, Mr. Matheny.
No report this week.
Okay. Ms. Owens.
I just want to say thank you to Catherine and Liam and a bunch of people from administration for helping a resident in my ward with an issue that she was having, and he spent a lot of time looking into it for her, and I think they're gonna be able to help her out, so I appreciate it. That's all.
All right. Mr. Orr?
Okay, thank you. Welcome, Mr. Peters, to council. Welcome, thank you to all that came tonight and those who spoke. I've been out and about the community. One thing I would like for us to keep our eyes on, traffic is a mess over by Meyer, in that area, from Apple Grove north. There's something, I think something may need to be done right after Chick-fil-A opens or before it, if we can. I don't know what we've done out there. I don't think it's working. And I was out there sitting in the parking lot while my wife was in Myers. And then it's kind of confusing in there in ins and outs. Do I go to Wendy's this way or do I go to Papa Bear's this way? But I really think that the volume of traffic is a lot up there. So I don't know what we can do or what, so what are the powers that be. I've got a lot of complaints from people in my ward, which is far enough away from that. But I think we should look into that. Most people in the ward are happy. They're happy. I got several compliments, and I think a couple people were going to write about our last issue of the North End Sun. It was very informative and very nice. And I want to thank most of the council. Was it the parks master plan? That was very interesting again, and I plan on going to the other ones and go from there. But that's my report. Thank you.
Mr. Hurst? You ready?
Sure.
Do you have notes?
Why not?
Mr. Peters, at large.
Madam President, thank you. I just want to thank Mayor Stroya for the confidence. And I appreciate the opportunity, only for a short time. This is it. But I did want to mention, Miriam, thank you for your comments on that sidewalk. We tried to tackle this a couple different times over the course of my tenure, and I wanted to ask Jason a couple questions. The funding, ODOT, is that built into the grant that the Canton City Schools have, or is that separate?
So separate, there's the project to actually do the safe routes plan, but then there's also an application process that the applications are due in March of 26 to apply for infrastructure funding. So the plan would be a prerequisite to apply for those funds. But if you have created a plan that ODOT approves and it recommends a project in there, so for example, if the sidewalks were recommended, those projects usually do pretty well around the state. They provide, I can't remember the dollar amount offhand, but it's a fairly significant funding program for ODOT. I'd say in any given year, maybe they award 20 to 25 projects, if I recall. So now it's a big state, but I think we would be well positioned perhaps to receive funding.
I would agree with that. The only question I would have is, like I said, we tried to tackle this a couple different times, and what basically stopped it was there was a couple residents that refused to allow access across.
Four?
There's four? Okay.
We're working on it.
Yeah. Working on it now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not very successfully, but.
So I guess my question at that point is, you know, if we're talking about a program that's about safety for the kids, getting to and from school, would there be a eminent domain component to that? And obviously that would be the city doing that on behalf of ODOT, or would they do that?
I think typically the way it works in cities, and I'm not as familiar with what we've done in the past, I can get up to speed on that, but typically for these types of projects, I mean, right-of-way is a eligible cost, so if you do need to secure right-of-way for sidewalks, or it could be a typical roadway project, you know, that's typically done through trying to get voluntary acquisition first, but with ODOT's program, if eminent domain were used, that is a way sometimes cities acquire the right-of-way as well.
So in order to be considered for the funding, you would have to have access to it. So if you don't get the folks that have been saying that they don't want to do it in the funding or the grant request or a funding request, would you have to put in there, or would we have to put in there that we're willing to do eminent domain?
I think if a project were applied for, typically what a city would do is they would say that right-of-way is required, and a funding application to ODOT, it doesn't necessarily get into the process by which the right-of-way is required. You would just estimate a dollar amount for the right-of-way, and it would take into account whether that right-of-way might be acquired voluntarily or through an eminent domain process. So I think the key would just be budgeting the appropriate amount for it.
I was working with Ben Young prior to this, and I think that maybe a face-to-face, just talking to those individuals is the next step involved. So, okay. I was planning on knocking on some doors, so that kind of fell when Ben left, so I'll go pick up that ball and talk to them direct.
Yeah, I'd be willing to tag on.
Yeah, so, yeah.
And Jeff, on your, to your point, that several years ago, I mean, I think everyone's recognized, you know, demographics going to change considerably when the middle school gets there. You're going to have kids walking either on a sidewalk or cutting a path through the grass in your
We
yard.
already touched on that.
Yeah, it's gonna
see
be
the
high
changes
volume.
in the neighborhood now. They're taking everything.
I just want to make one point of clarification, Jeff. I heard you say the grant the school has, they don't have it yet. Jason mentioned that it's due, you know, it's coming up in spring. They have to do a plan first, and they had to acquire a consultant to help them with that plan, and I believe they've selected a consultant.
Correct.
So they've got that process started, but the consultant will help them put the plan together to apply for the grant. So they don't have it yet.
Right, I might not have clarified that enough. Yeah, Catherine's exactly right. They are hiring they have hired a consultant to do the plan, and the plan is the first step to apply for a grant that if they get it, it would be 100% dollars from ODOT.
Thanks, guys. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. Member Wyrick.
No report.
Wow, you had such a big night the other night.
At the, well, Catherine talked about
she did.
that.
I didn't give all the details.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So thank you to everyone who came out to Dogwood. Still 21 days to get your survey in for the Parks Master Plan. But yeah.
It was good. It was fun to see everybody that night. So, well, thank you for having that, and thank you for your videos. Before, I was fortunate to just talk with some members from Ward 2. So they have a group that is meeting and just wants to be more kind of in the know about different things happening in city government. And one of the questions was, how do we reach residents to let them know about? And I had to laugh a little bit because I said, well, you have to do videos. They get watched a lot more. You have to have equipment from Stark Parks and games and different things, and people have to pay attention. And so while we're going through some of these things with the budget and with the parks, it is important to read your bills and see if there's any information on that. Make sure, you know, somebody had commented about the sun and the great information in the sun. And it is, as citizens, you have to kind of take some ownership in that and sign up for our Facebook posts, reach out to us as individuals to get information. Everything in finance is all there. It's as transparent as you can have it, but the others you kind of have to go looking for. You might miss some things. But thank you for doing that. It was, after seeing those consultants, I feel like we picked a great group. And all they want is feedback. They want to know truly what you want for the city park. So thank you for that. I don't think I have anything else to say. Kind of like you said, Matt, at the end, everybody has said it, and I won't waste anyone's time. So with that being said, final call for new business. All right, seeing none. The meetings calendar, we'll have a committee of the whole next week. We'll have council on the September 26th, and then a committee meeting on October 6th with no meeting on the 5th Monday.
Council on the 22nd. Yeah.
Did I say 22nd?
26th, maybe you said.
Oh, sorry, 29th, no meeting. October 6th, the committee of the whole. All right. All right, that being said, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
Okay, John, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Meeting adjourned.